You should be thankful that these dinosaurs don't exist today. Trust me, you'll come away from this video completely shocked by the bizarre creatures that once roamed our planet millions of years ago, while the Tyrannosaurus rex and Velociraptor get all the spotlight. The dinosaur world was full of evolutionary oddballs that would make modern animals look completely weak. Today, we're going to introduce you to the scariest dinosaurs in history. Join us and let's go. Number 17. Centaurosaurus. When the first Centaurosaurus skull was discovered in China in 1958, paleontologists were baffled by what appeared to be a unicorn-like horn projecting from its forehead. This bizarre feature led to its nickname, the unicorn dinosaur, and sparked decades of scientific debate about whether the projection was a genuine feature or merely a misinterpreted piece of a more conventional crest. More recent discoveries and reanalysis suggest that the unicorn horn was actually part of a larger hatchet-shaped crest that was incompletely preserved in the original fossil. Even with this reinterpretation, Centaurosaurus remains one of the strangest-looking hadrosaurs, duck-billed dinosaurs, with its unusual forward-pointing crest creating a profile unlike any living animal. At around 33 feet long, Centaurosaurus was a substantial herbivore that likely used its bizarre head ornament for visual display and possibly sound production. Number 16. Pagomastax. Few dinosaurs look as strange as Pagomastax, a tiny heterodontosaur that combined features of parrots, vampires, and porcupines into one bizarre package just under 2 feet long. This turkey-sized oddball had a parrot-like beak at the front of its face, coupled with two large canine-like teeth projecting from its lower jaw like vampire fangs. Making it even stranger, Pagomastax was likely covered in quill-like structures similar to a porcupine, giving it a spiky appearance despite being a herbivore. Its teeth arrangement was particularly unusual, large fang-like teeth at the front, followed by a gap, diastema, and then small leaf-shaped teeth toward the back of the jaw. Discovered in South Africa but named in 2012, Pagomastax lived during the early Jurassic, making it one of the older dinosaurs on this list. Number 15. Yi-Chi. In 2015, paleontologists announced a discovery so bizarre that it seemed like something from a fantasy novel. A small dinosaur with bat-like wings. Yi-Chi, pronounced I-Chi, means strange wing in Chinese, and it definitely lives up to its name. This crow-sized creature had a rod-like bone extending from each wrist that supported a membrane, creating a wing structure unlike anything seen in other dinosaurs or birds. This weird little dinosaur was a member of the Scansoriopterygid family, small, feathered dinosaurs related to birds. But while other dinosaurs were experimenting with feathered wings on their way to becoming birds, Yi-Chi took a completely different evolutionary path, developing membranous wings more like those of bats or flying squirrels. The wing structure of Yi-Chi has no parallel in any other known dinosaur. The rod-like styliform bone extending from each wrist appears to have supported a membrane that formed the wing, possibly along with feathers along the edge. I have a question for you. First, I would like to say that it is possible to follow the greatest curiosities of our world every day, but to do so, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So, are you already subscribed? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Also, take the opportunity to like the video, so YouTube will recommend more videos from our channel. So, leave your like right now. And now that you have done that, let's go. Number 14. Yutyrannus. Forget everything you thought you knew about tyrannosaurs. The Yutyrannus was essentially T-Rex's feathered cousin, looking like something straight out of your worst nightmares. This 30-foot predator wasn't just big, it was covered in primitive feathers that gave it an appearance somewhere between a monstrous bird and a classic dinosaur. The name Yutyrannus literally means feathered tyrant, and for good reason. Unlike its famous relative T-Rex with those comically tiny arms, Yutyrannus had longer, more useful limbs with 3 sharp claws perfect for grabbing prey. Add to that the short horns adorning its head, and you've got a creature that would make movie monsters look tame. The real head-scratcher about Yutyrannus is exactly how feathered it was. Scientists have found fossils showing definite feather impressions, but whether it was completely covered like Big Bird's evil cousin or just had patches remains hotly debated. Number 13. Carnotaurus. With a name meaning meat-eating bull, Carnotaurus lives up to its intimidating title. This predator's most striking feature was a pair of horn-like projections above its eyes, giving it the appearance of a demonic. These horns weren't for attacking prey but were likely used in head-pushing contests between males competing for territory or mates. What made Carnotaurus truly weird was its combination of features. Despite being a fearsome predator with a massive head and powerful jaws, its arms were even more reduced than T-Rex's, tiny, almost vestigial limbs with 4 fingers that were practically useless. Meanwhile, its legs were powerfully built for running, with some paleontologists suggesting it was one of the fastest large predatory dinosaurs. Carnotaurus was also covered in an unusual skin texture. Fossil impressions show a covering of non-overlapping scales with larger feature scales arranged in rows along its sides. Number 12. Stygimoloch. The Stygimoloch might sound like something from a fantasy video game, but this weird dinosaur was very real, and weird enough to actually be featured. In modern games like Jurassic World Evolution, one look at its skull explains why. This dinosaur's claim to fame was its thick, domed head, crowned with spikes and bumps that made it look like a walking battering ram, and that's exactly what it was. For years, scientists debated whether Stygimoloch actually used its reinforced skull for ramming competitions, but recent evidence of healed fractures in fossil specimens has settled the argument. Number 11. Hadrosaurus. When you think duck, you probably picture a small, waddling bird. Now imagine that duck face on a creature weighing more than 2 tons and stretching 26 feet long. That's the Hadrosaurus for you, the original duck-billed dinosaur that would make modern ducks look like toys. These gentle giants were the prehistoric equivalent of today's cows and horses, roaming across North America, Europe, and Asia in massive herds that could number in the thousands. The sheer scale of these migrations must have been breathtaking. Imagine thousands of duck-faced behemoths moving across ancient plains, their footsteps making the ground tremble. The weirdness doesn't stop at their duckbills. Many species of hadrosaurs had bizarre hollow crests on their heads that they used like built-in trumpets. By pushing air through these elaborate headpieces, they could produce low, booming calls that carried for miles across prehistoric landscapes. Number 10. Oryctodromeus. Most dinosaurs conquered the land, some took to the air, and others returned to the sea, but Oryctodromeus chose a different path entirely by going underground. This bizarre 2-meter-long herbivore was one of the first dinosaurs proven to be a burrower, completely changing our understanding of dinosaur behavior. The smoking gun was an incredible fossil discovery. Specimens found inside what appeared to be their own burrow. Like finding a prehistoric crime scene, scientists uncovered Oryctodromeus fossils inside a fossilized tunnel structure, suggesting these dinosaurs died in their own home and were preserved there for eternity. Number 9. Microraptor. Long before engineers designed quadcopter drones, nature experimented with 4-winged flight in the form of Microraptor. This crow-sized dinosaur had a feature set that would seem outlandish even in science fiction. 4 wings, iridescent feathers, and a lifestyle somewhere between bird and dinosaur. Microraptor is one of the strangest creatures in dinosaur history because it had flight feathers not just on its arms like modern birds, but also on its legs. This bizarre configuration created a 4-winged gliding system unlike anything alive today. Its feathers weren't just functional, they were glossy black with a blue-purple iridescent sheen, similar to modern crows and ravens. Number 8. Tyrannosaurus rex. The king finally makes his appearance. But why is T-Rex on a list of weird dinosaurs? Take one look at those comically small arms compared to its massive body, and you'll understand. Those tiny limbs on a 40-foot-long, 8-ton predator create one of evolution's most puzzling contradictions. Those miniature arms weren't just a funny quirk, they represent one of paleontology's greatest mysteries. Despite being reduced to seemingly useless appendages, T-Rex arms were surprisingly muscular, capable of curling over 400 pounds each. This suggests they served some purpose, though exactly what remains debated. Theories range from helping the dinosaur rise from a lying position to holding prey close while delivering killing bites. Another weird aspect of T-Rex that movies get wrong: it was likely partially covered in feathers, at least during some part of its life cycle. Younger T-Rex individuals probably sported fuzzy, feather-like structures, shedding this covering as they matured. Imagine the terrible Lizard King as a giant, feathered chicken with a mouth full of banana-sized teeth, and you'll understand why it belongs on this list. Number 7. Incisivosaurus. Rounding out our list of the weirdest dinosaurs is Incisivosaurus, a small theropod with perhaps the strangest dental arrangement of any dinosaur. Its most distinctive feature was a pair of large, rodent-like front teeth that protruded from its upper jaw, giving it an appearance reminiscent of a prehistoric rabbit or rodent. These buck teeth were unlike anything seen in other theropod dinosaurs, which typically had rows of sharp, serrated teeth suited for a carnivorous diet. The bizarre dental arrangement of Incisivosaurus suggests it had evolved a specialized diet, different from its meat-eating relatives, possibly including tough plant materials, seeds, or nuts that required specialized teeth to process. Number 6. Amargasaurus. Picture a sauropod, one of those long-necked, long-tailed giants that browsed treetops. Then add a double row of spines running down its neck that stood up to 2 feet tall. What you get is Amargasaurus, one of the most visually striking dinosaurs ever discovered. This 33-foot-long oddball from Argentina had paired neural spines extending from its vertebrae that created a dramatic sail or spiky crest along its neck and back. Paleontologists still debate what these spines actually looked like in life. Were they exposed like a mohawk, covered in skin to form a sail, or wrapped in keratin to form defensive spikes? Whatever the case, Amargasaurus would have been instantly recognizable even among other dinosaurs. The most likely explanation for this bizarre feature was display. The spines may have been brightly colored or covered with skin that could flush with blood during mating displays, similar to modern frigate birds, with their red throat pouches. Number 5. Nigersaurus. If there was ever a dinosaur that looked like it was designed by a surrealist artist, it's Nigersaurus. This bizarre sauropod had a mouth that can only be described as a biological vacuum cleaner. Its skull was adapted for ground-level feeding with a wide, straight-edged muzzle filled with over 500 replacement teeth. Unlike other long-necked dinosaurs that browsed on tall vegetation, Nigersaurus was specialized for vacuuming up ground-level plants. Its unusual skull was remarkably lightweight due to extensive air spaces in the bones, and its face was actually wider than its skull. When viewed from the front, the mouth of Nigersaurus formed an unusually wide, straight line that would have been perfect for cropping vegetation close to the ground. Number 4. Cosmoceratops. Imagine a dinosaur with a head that looks like someone attached a medieval coat of arms to a giant parrot face. That's Cosmoceratops, the dinosaur with the most elaborate head ornamentation of any known vertebrate. This 15-foot plant-eater sported a remarkable 15 horns and horn-like features on its skull, including a row of small hook-like projections running along the top of its frill. The frill itself was relatively short but extremely wide, creating a massive display platform decorated with those numerous horns pointing in different directions. The overall effect was like a walking billboard, a dinosaur whose head was primarily evolved for showing off rather than any practical purpose. Number 3. Nothronicus. Nothronicus literally means sloth claw, and it's easy to see why. This bizarre dinosaur combined the body of a pot-bellied theropod with the lifestyle of a modern sloth, resulting in one of the strangest dinosaurs ever discovered. At over 15 feet long and 3 times taller than a human, it was essentially a giant, prehistoric, sloth-like creature with massive claws. The most striking features were its forelimbs, which ended in enormous curved claws up to a foot long. Unlike typical predatory dinosaurs, Nothronicus used these impressive weapons not for hunting, but for pulling down branches and vegetation. It was essentially a meat-eater that evolved to become a dedicated plant-eater while keeping its fearsome-looking claws. Standing upright on powerful hind legs, Nothronicus had a wide, pot-bellied appearance with broad hips that looked completely different from its sleek, carnivorous ancestors. Number 2. Spinosaurus. For decades, Spinosaurus was already considered weird for its massive sail-like spine that rose 6 feet above its back. Then, in 2014, new fossils revealed something even more shocking. It had dense bones, paddle-like feet, and a tail shaped like a fin. Spinosaurus wasn't just a strange-looking dinosaur, it was the first known swimming dinosaur. At over 50 feet long, Spinosaurus was larger than T-Rex and adapted for a semi-aquatic lifestyle that no other large theropod is known to have adopted. Its crocodile-like jaws were perfect for catching fish, its nostrils were positioned high on its skull to breathe while partially submerged, and its unique tail provided powerful propulsion through water. Number 1. Halskaraptor. Discovered in Mongolia and described in 2017, Halskaraptor might be the strangest small dinosaur ever found. This bizarre creature combined features of modern birds, crocodiles, and dinosaurs into a package that paleontologists initially thought might be a fake. It was so weird they suspected it was a composite fossil artificially assembled from different animals. Detailed analysis proved it was genuine, revealing a dinosaur unlike any other known species. About the size of a modern duck, Halskaraptor had a long, flexible swan-like neck, a bill-like snout filled with tiny teeth, and forelimbs that resembled flippers. Its skeleton suggests it was equally comfortable swimming, wading, and moving on land. Which of these dinosaurs shocked you the most? Tell me in the comments below. Take advantage and click on this video that is appearing on the screen. Since you like interesting facts about animals, I'm sure this one will shock you too. Well, that's it, and until next time, Curious One.